Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our study of mind rubrics from Kent's Repertory. Let's continue with our next rubric, which is um, the rubric is children. So I don't think I have to sort of explain what the word meaning of the rubric is, and therefore there's no meaning that I've written, just that it has subrubrics. So the children per se does not have any remedies, but there are subrubrics given in this rubric, and for which there are remedies available. So the first subrubric is children aversion to, and the remedy there is Platina. So Platina feels that she does not belong to her family, that I don't belong to my family, that I am isolated, or I am alone in this whole world, and nobody mm, seems to be close to her. Everybody seems to be very small and very low down in front of her uh, self imagined big image, that I am great, I am big, and the others are too small and too low down. Mm, Out of this superiority, Platina seems to reject her own children and her own family also. That I don't think my family is up to my standards. They are way below me. So that feeling of isolated, I have nobody in this world, I am all alone, and even my family does not understand me, even my family is not up to my status or my level, is what Platina feels. So it's the same feeling towards their own children, and they don't like their own children. Hmm. Then the next is um, desire to beat. So this symptom, desire to beat, is observed in the remedy Chelidonium, and it is given in the proving. And Chelidonium's main picture is that of a person who feels sort of guilty, guilty that they did this proving, and because of they doing this proving, they have ruined their own health, they have spoiled their own health by taking this remedy, by trying to prove a homeopathic remedy. They have spoiled their own health. So why did I do this? I should not have done this. Hmm? They feel that as if they have committed a crime, and because of this crime, they are suffering or people are suffering, and they feel the pain of the suffering. Oh, how painful the symptoms are. Oh, how painful it must be for that person. Oh, how painful it is for me to go through all of this pain. This life is very painful, so much of pain and suffering in this life. I cannot take all this suffering. And they somewhere feel that this suffering is their own doing, that I did something wrong, because of this I am suffering. Because of this, they are very agitated, dissatisfied, irritated, anxious, fearful. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, what is happening? Very dissatisfied, very dis sort of what is another word for it? Very discouraged, dissatisfied, and they feel that they di- they did not, maybe they did not do wrong, maybe they did wrong. They are also in this phase of maybe I did wrong, maybe I did not do wrong, and that keeps playing in their mind. One day they will say, oh, it was all their fault, and that's why I'm landing up and in this situation, and that's why having all this pain and suffering. No, it was the opposite person's fault. It was him. That is why he's suffering. Why am I feeling the pain? That constant thing is going on. And then the main thing is they crave for meditation. They crave for um, spiritual things, and they feel, I want to rise above all this pain and suffering and guilt and all this. I want to get out of this and be very peaceful, calm, and go beyond all this pain and suffering and be in the space of peace and calm and God. And like I have liberated my soul, and that my soul is no more feeling the pains and the aches of the daily life. I am above all these pains and sufferings. Hmm? And the opposite phase, where they are dissatisfied, discouraged, and fighting all this pain and suffering, that is when Chelidonium also feels very dissatisfied with their family, with their children, and they feel like beating up their children, and their own anxiety or their guilt is, I don't know why I want to beat. I have beaten my children, but how could I beat? I don't even have a reason. Why do I beat my children? Just I get angry and feel like beating them, and I have no reason for doing it. That is where that guilt begins. Why am I doing this? They have done no wrong, but I am beating my own children. I am the problem. That is the ruin. I have ruined my own life. I have ruined my own health. I am creating all these problems. Why am I doing it? And they die with that guilt. Hmm? Hmm. That is Chelidonium. Next is desire to have, to beget children. So once I remember, I saw a patient, and she was pretty old. I think she looked very old to me, you know. And then she actually booked an online appointment um, for her daughter, and she said my daughter is around 4 or 5 years old. For me, this woman looked around 50, 55 at least, if not 60. Okay, I felt it, she might be 60, but she was around 50 or something like that. And she said, I have a 5, 6 year old daughter. I said, you look pretty old. Why you have had children so late? So she said, no, this is my 11th child. I said, 11th? She said, yes, 11th child. So, you know, I went crazy. Matlab, in my childhood, we used to say that, you know, one person will give birth to one cricket team with 11 players. So we used to make fun in my childhood. We as friends used to make fun. And when I heard this, I felt this woman, she took this seriously. She had actually has had 11 children. Hmm. So I asked her, why you have had 11 children? That's a lot. So she said, no, I just love having children. I said, what do you love having about children? No, I just love the whole process of having children, getting pregnant and creating or giving birth to children. And I kept asking, what does this birth give you? What does this rising up children give you? She said, no, just that I can give birth to children. I'm satisfied with that. That's what is the main happiness. So that is what is oxalic acid. They really just like the process of getting pregnant and giving birth to children. And there is no other reason. Just the process of giving birth is very happy and very satisfying for them. Hmm? So that was what was oxalic acid. The next subrubric is dislikes her own children. Hmm? So the topmost remedy there is lycopodium. Hmm? Lycopodium, as we already know, Vitulcos has very clearly written that because of this desire for not wanting to take the responsibility and feeling they are not capable, they are not so confident about themselves, Lycopodium does not want to take up that responsibility or that burden of having to raise a child. So they avoid a responsibility. They don't want to take up that responsibility. Out of that desire to avoid responsibility, you see Lycopodium disliking their own children. But the main feeling is they don't want that responsibility, they feel that's too much for them. Hmm? Next remedy is glonoin. Hmm? Glonoin, um, if you know it, I think all of us know it's a head remedy. It has headache and throbbing and bursting and all that. But along with this very intense headaches, Glonoin has a feeling that they are lost in well-known streets. I'm lost in a street that I always walk. It is very similar to Nux moscata. We all know Nux moscata, lost in well-known streets. So even Glonoin has that symptom, and it's also as intense as we know it is in Nux moscata. So Glonoin feels lost in that familiar environment, and out of this loss of memory, where they are not able to identify their own family, their own husband, their own children. They forget their whole family. They are not able to recognize that this is my family, this is my children, and they seem to sort of get irritated, and they seem to yell at these children if they come close. Don't come close to me, go away from me, who are you, who is this husband, don't touch me, go away. And they get very angry and violent, that they may start hitting, they may start yelling, they may become very violent if the family sort of tries to come close. And the main thing is that they have lost their memory, that this is my family, this is my home, this is my city, this is my street. They have forgot all of that. Hmm? They are lost, they don't know where they are, where they are, why they are. They just don't seem to recognize anything. They can't recognize their own family, their own surroundings. Huh? The next remedy is Platina. I think this is a Miss Platina. Huh? So Platina we already did. Viratrum album. Next remedy. Viratrum album is mm, this desire for social position, that I am the prince. I am the next to be king. So I have all the authority and all the money and all the power, like the king. So I can show off my wealth, my family, my social position, by throwing big parties, throwing away big money, giving away big gifts, and calling people. That's what Viratam album is. Or mm, the other is this feeling of I am pregnant, and falsely they feel that maybe she is pregnant, or maybe she is dumb or deaf. They actually believe, even if they are not, that they are dumb or deaf. But on the contrary, they seem to be able to hear and um, talk. But Viratram seems to believe that they are dumb and deaf and are pregnant. So this is the closest I could get. Somehow I have not found a very clear symptom either in the proving or in Materia Medica, where it is written that Viratram album dislikes their children. Hmm? Yes, so the last sub rubric is children dislikes, especially girls. Now, actually, when we read the materia medica of the remedy that is given here, that is Raphanus, it doesn't seem that it is limited to children. Raphanus seems to have an aversion to women, and it's a very very strong aversion that they can't even sense the touch of woman, the presence of woman. They get angry, irritated by a woman's voice, by a woman touching them. They get disgusted and agitated, and just want to push them away. Why did you touch me? Don't touch me, just go away from me. Oh, you are a woman. They just dislike girls and women in general, and not just children. They just dislike women. That is Raphanus. Don't come near me. Huh? And this is a female who, in the proving, it's a female who is narrating all these symptoms. um, on the contrary, Raphanus seems to have a very strong attraction to males and sexual attraction. They seem to have lost their moral or ethical control over their sexual impulse, and they will just go about having sex with anybody and everybody. And in fact, it is written in the proving that even a person who they barely know, if if he is trying to make little bit of sexual advances, she is not able to stop that person. She seems to just give in to that advance, and she seems to have mm, uncontrollable sexual urge, and she just gets involved into a lot of sexual activity with lot of men with no control. So she seems to have a lot of attraction towards men and complete aversion towards women, increased sexual desire. One more important symptom that comes up is fear of death, and they feel that their death is very near. That is Raphanus. And obviously, the physical symptoms of Raphanus, like eructations, incarcerated flatus, that the gas is stuck and it's not coming out, and it's mm, very strong or pungent gas. That is what is Raphanus, right? So even I learned Raphanus for the first time through this rubric. I hope um, all of you find this rubric useful and you are able to implement it in practice. See you all in our next video. Till then, bye bye.